Hello and welcome to my AWS cloud migration videos. So there will be multiple videos, each like 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15. Why I'm doing this? Because from my experience, cloud migration or any cloud, like AWS, Azure, Google, becomes a very critical, project in multiple companies that I have seen. So I thought it will be a good idea to provide my experience through YouTube, and that is one reason why I am recording this. So thanks for listening again, and this is a little bit about me. I am AWS certified solution architect professional. It is called SAP. It is one of the highest AWS certifications. So that's about me. I have got a little bit of experience with AWS, and I've worked in multiple business verticals over a span of 2 decades. So that's a little bit about me. This is my roadmap. As I said, there will be multiple videos from 15 to 16 videos each, will like from 12 to 15 minutes. But before we go there, let's have a high level roadmap. So we'll talk about introduction, and then we'll talk about demystify what is the cloud. We'll talk about then the nightmare that cloud migration becomes in oftentimes, and the fourth subject we'll talk about it AWS, identity and access management. Becomes very critical for any serious cloud migration project. So then we will talk about AWS cloud account management. You may have multiple departments. Each one of them may have their own account. How do you link them to a master account so that you can control access management and billing? So that comes under the domain of AWS account management. With those covered, we'll move on to AWS structure, like AWS regions, availability zones, and how they provide better availability scalability at a low cost. Before we move on to AWS networking, which is very critical, we need to understand CIDR, how it works, modern times, to help us create AWS subnets. So that's critical across all clouds, not just AWS. Then we'll, as I said, we'll talk about AWS networking, and then we'll move on. We'll talk about AWS EC2 instances, which is called infrastructure as service. Then we'll talk about AWS S3. Let me tell you one thing, AWS has a catch line. They say that whatever is your question, S3 is the answer. And this marketing catch line matches reality in so very different ways. We will explore, those in that section. Then we'll move on to AWS Relational Database Service. To a lot of applications, RDS still is a very viable option, and AWS has a very exciting RDS hosting option. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll move on to AWS NoSQL. Which is not only SQL, that includes DynamoDB. And if you do not like to have DynamoDB, then there are other options in AWS from partners. We'll talk about those as well. We'll move on to caching then. AWS caching. AWS has Elastic Cache PaaS service. It includes Redis and Memcached. We'll talk about those. AWS PaaS, which is called Elastic Beanstalk, has a very exciting option. A lot of people say Elastic Beanstalk is for people who do not know about cloud. I would recommend that even if you know a lot about cloud, you will find Elastic Beanstalk quite exciting. So please explore. We'll talk a little bit about that AWS Elastic Beanstalk in that section. AWS messaging, which is simple queuing service, is one of the most stable and most early released AWS services. We'll talk about how you can replace your in-house messaging system like IBM MQ with AWS simple queuing service. AWS streaming. AWS has Kinesis. There we'll talk about AWS streaming there, 16th, in the 16th section. And then AWS Kinesis Firehose is your vehicle to transfer a large amount of data without writing code. So it's very critical. We'll talk about that. Next, 14th section, we'll talk about AWS deployment. AWS has a lot of tools like Code Deploy, AWS Pipeline to help you deploy your applications to either EC2 instances or Elastic Beanstalk or container orchestration engines like ECS and EKS. 15th, we will talk about AWS data warehouse like Redshift. And then finally, we will talk about AWS auto scaling, which is very critical. So you can see that AWS, even though AWS has like 140 or more services, if you go to the AWS Management Console, it looks very intermediating. Uh, if you know 16 or 17 AWS services, I would say your mileage will go a long way. So you don't need to know everything, even though AWS has a long list of services. You can grow your knowledge, you can grow your expertise, but these 16 services are the key, to your cloud migration projects. So this is our next section. We will start there, but for the time being, we will stop our video here and we'll move on to the next section. Thanks for listening, and let me know if you have any questions. Comment on the comment section. And as I said, I will keep on uploading videos. If you like it, subscribe. Then you will get notified automatically. Thanks for listening. I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.